Hi beautiful souls, this is Archana here with Divine Soul Resonance, welcoming everyone to my channel with all my love and all my heart. If you're coming to my channel for the first time, I welcome you. And for all my beautiful existing subscribers, I'm truly grateful to all your love, your support, your readings, and everything that you bring forth for my channel. I thank you. And today, what I'm bringing forth in a reading is to look at what is it that you are completing and leaving behind in 2021? We've started 2022 and we are on this beautiful spiritual unfoldment and our spiritual journey that sometimes we don't see, recognize, honor, and appreciate the things that we have learned, that we have completed. And as we take a reflection on the things that have taken place in the past, the learnings we have had, the growth we have had, it clears the path for more gratitude. It clears the path for more productivity. It clears the path for greater manifestation of our desires. And it gives us the strength to move forward. And it is with that intention that I'm bringing forth this reading. So let's start by asking this question on what is it that you're leaving behind in 2021? What is it that you're completing? Angels, what is it that the people are leaving behind and completing? What has been a big lesson and people have completed and are learning to leave behind, angels, in 2021? Let me pull from my decks first before I begin to speak on them. What is it that the collective is completing and leaving behind? Interesting. What is it that the collective is leaving behind and completing in 2021? Let's first start with these energies that have shown up. I see here that in 2021, a big lesson has been with these restrictions, with these changes, where you felt all constricted, limited, tied up with everything that's taking place, biologically, around, environmentally. We all have felt that at a deep level. When is this shift going to take place in the world? I can't go travel to my places. Everything at the workplace is shifting. Everything in a love relationships is shifting. How am I expected to meet someone when I am quote unquote stuck in my place? I can't go out. So we've all felt this energy, this restriction, this limitation. And this has really created a lot of frustration energies, sadness, and we've all become like, what I'm picking up is, I don't want to say dark energies, but we begin to feel like really not feeling the lighter side of life. How can you? Because you can't do the things that you want to do. You can't get out and do the things that you want to do. Things are completely shifting. We're encountering the biggest shifts that we will experience in our entire life. And it's not just in a certain city. It is applicable globally. And it's having such a large impact. So, especially for the past 2 years, we have learned this energy. And this is card number 23. Energy of change. That what is it that we can learn through this restriction? We have choices, lovers. We have choices. We can still find choices that are heartfelt. That has been a lesson, or perhaps where you felt too tied down to a job, to a love partnership, in a certain way of being. But these choices in this year that you are completing, that you are leaving behind, has been, I'm not going to allow these restrictions to stop me from doing the things that I love. All right, I can't do these things environmentally. I can't get out. I can't, with the lockdowns and everything, I can't do a whole lot of those things. You're coming up with some creative solutions and you're going to be leaving this part behind where you feel restricted. So you're not going to be allowing the external environment to control your internal state. You're going to be learning, and you have learned this big lesson in 2021 on your internal state. Okay, and you're recognizing this is one of the big lessons that we have been learning collectively in this past year. I would want to say past 2 years, but the question has been for 2021. We are really interconnected. Do we not see that? That we can't travel, our economies are dependent on one another, our financial structures are dependent. When one thinks, one sector, one part of the globe goes down, another one is impacted. Okay, one aspect of the economy goes up or down, it has an impact on another. So we have all seen that, and that creates a big shift. All right, there was a certain way in which people made money. There were certain types of jobs that were there prior to, let's say, 2019. Now there's a complete difference and a shift that's taking place that is impacting all of humanity, that is impacting the environment, that is impacting each one of us. So you're really feeling, okay, this is a big learning. Okay, this is a big learning, divine consciousness, interconnectedness. You're recognizing the oneness. Okay, in that constriction, it's not just one area where we are constricted. All of us are feeling it. All of us are feeling it in our countries. All of us are feeling it in our spaces that we are. All of us are feeling it collectively in the workspaces. Maybe the degree, the kind is different. It manifests in a different way in a different country, on a different community, but all of us at a global level have felt this feeling of restriction, have felt this part of where you're feeling very tied down. But here is the big learning that we are learning and completing. Whether we are leaving this behind, time will tell. Is that we are truly interconnected and that we impact one another energetically. So what are we putting in that vortex of energy? Collective consciousness. What are my thoughts? Are your thoughts aligned with that of love, or are you aligning your thoughts with that of constriction, limitation, anger, frustration, non-understanding? So the part of the big lesson for 2021 has been to find the lighter part of life. Okay, perhaps we have forgotten to find humor in these situations. Can we be light when everything seems so dark? So this has been a lesson. This has been something that we are integrating, that we are completing to understand that this doesn't seem like this is going away anytime soon. So what is it that we can do to still have fun? Can we still chill, do some things different? Find another. So with these energies, when we have all these restrictions, what happens is, and knowing that we are all interconnected here, we're all going to feel this. Our creative side starts to come up. Our creative side starts to explode, that we start to find creative solutions towards this restriction. What is it that we can do? What is it that we can do to still have fun? What is it that we can do to express our love? New creative ways of connection. While in centuries before, the internet was not there. Now with this explosion of internet and this amazing amount of interconnectedness, we can see that there are other ways in which we can connect. So it opens our eyes, it opens our energy to find very creative solutions. So I feel like that's been a big learning. Have we seen that as a growth in businesses? Have we seen that in the growth in the kinds of things that people are now wanting to do? It's very different than what it was, let's say, even 5 years ago. Why has this taken place? It's because this has been a big learning. With this constriction and with this limitation, it is teaching us all collectively how we can work with this energy of complete shake-up that's taken place globally for us. Wow, I was not expecting these energies to come forth, but that's what the fun is when you channel, because you don't know what's coming up. So with that, let's have a look, angels, as what is it that the people are completing and what are they leaving behind in 2021? What are people completing and leaving behind in 2021? Wow, look at that. So many cups. 8 of Cups, Ace of Cups, King of Cups with the Tower. Okay, with the Tower. What are we completing and leaving behind in 2021? Transformation in what brings value, where we feel fulfilled, fulfillment, unfulfillment in relationships, in jobs, in situations, or things that we have held on to, beliefs, structures, homes. We have gotten into these comfort zones. We were in our comfort zone of this is how the world works. This is how society works. This is how things are always done. And we've held on to those beliefs. And we were on a path collectively towards destruction. That's what I'm feeling. With this Tower energy and all tied up, we were collectively on a path of destruction. So Spirit is helping us, guiding us to release the tight hold that we have had, to release the tight hold that we have had on these old structures, okay? On these old structures and patterns. These were no longer going to support our evolution collectively. These were not going to support us collectively to evolve into the heart-centered human that we are meant to evolve to collectively. Doesn't mean individually you're not heart-centered. Individually you don't do things that you love or you're understanding, but collectively we don't have that. And I'm being brutally honest here. We don't have that collectively. So we've been holding on to these facades. We've been holding on to things that are illusionary, okay, that temporarily look good, okay. So we've been hiding behind structures. We've been hiding behind these big buildings, these big showy things and big showy lifestyles or big showy things. Doesn't mean I'm saying these are right or wrong. No, there's no judgment on that. But we've been hiding behind it. That's what our driving factor has been. So I feel that collectively, many people have not been following their soul calling and the soul path because this was their comfort zone. So what you're leaving behind now, what you weren't able to, you were holding on too tightly to some belief. This also represents belief. This is what I believe, very dogmatic beliefs. I'm also sensing very strong dogmas. So the strong dogmatic beliefs, very strong structural foundations that you've kind of captivated yourself in. The soul is being freed from that. And you may feel that this is this period of restriction, but to me, this is feeling with the Tower energy that this restriction where you felt tied up because you were tied up to a tower that was not built on the right foundation. So what you're leaving behind are these old patterns of thinking, these old patterns of belief that were not in alignment with your soul growth and your soul purpose. And what's happening, what you're leaving and learning and completing is that, when you love someone, I should express how I feel. No holding back like this King of Cups here. No holding back on the emotions. About the things I love. Speak about love. There's this loving connection. Holding back on the emotions and not sharing because you're fearing the consequences. So you've learned some difficult lessons. So I feel like for some of you, you've gone through a period of a breakup. You've gone through these breakups, this separation from someone you really, really loved. You had this big heartfelt connection with, but you left them behind. You didn't speak up. You didn't share of your emotions. And that's something as a learning that you have learned, a big lesson in 2021. That I can't continue that way. I can't keep holding on. I feel like with the ship here, I'm suddenly feeling like many of you have gone on this. I'm seeing like an ocean and a ship adrift with no shore in sight. You just adrift. So this year has been feeling like emotionally very adrift. It's like I'm not finding like an anchor. I'm not finding like land. I'm not finding like where I can connect with. So a lot of emotional, I feel an imbalance, okay, about what you love, about choices you have made about love, where you have restricted yourself. All that has kind of come crumbling down in 2021. So these lessons have been quite hard and quite challenging, but very beautiful. So your soul can open up, so your soul can see, this divine love and divine connection. The big lesson has been about what brings me emotional fulfillment, my internal state of happiness, this Ace of Cups, a big learning, a big new start in your emotional body. There's a lot of butterflies here, a lot of transformation through these restrictions, through these changes, that you are pouring that love in your cup first. And you're receiving this cup of love through your own divine connection to source energy. So this direct connection to source energy has been a big learning for you. It has opened up to the realm of emotions and also to see what brings you emotional fulfillment. That's a big learning, okay? And I also see that what you're completing and leaving behind, this is the Eight of Cups. Okay, Eight of Cups is actually about leaving some things behind. Some things that were emotionally distraught, some things which were not emotionally fulfilling, and you're rising to a place and wanting to go to a place that truly brings you this happiness, what brings you joy. So through this restriction, through these challenges, you have learned to sift out what's important, what's not. This is emotionally right for me, and I'm going to follow what's emotionally right for me, even though it may kind of disturb other people. I'm not harming them. I'm not hurting them. I'm going to choose me. It's up to them and how they view it. Whether they like that or not, that is their perception. I'm going to honor my needs. I'm going to honor me. Okay, so I do feel a big lesson. And over here in this particular deck, it's so interesting. I'm seeing everything in twos here. You see the two swans here, the two dragonflies here, there are the two birds there, and there are the two butterflies here. So the twos, and this year is 2022. Okay, so which is the energy of balance. You're wanting to move towards that brings you balance, okay, with another, whether it's your parents, your siblings, your friends, your company, a lover, just something as a partnered relationship. You're really wanting to have these heartfelt connections. Okay, so this has been a big learning and a completion that you have had. Now, does it mean this lesson is completely completed and, we're done with it? Each one of us experiences this in a different way. And these are growth lessons. I feel these have been big growth lessons for you in the last year of 2021. Let's have a look at a little bit more on what are you completing and leaving behind in 2021. Okay. What are you learning and completing and leaving behind in 2021? What are you completing as a lesson and leaving behind in 2021? What is a big lesson? Wow, so beautiful. Thank you, angels. So beautiful. So we got the 10 of Cups with the 8 of Cups. Okay, are you leaving the 10 of Cups behind? No. What this is feeling like is, do you see again another 2 here? You see how synchronistic the numbers 2 are coming up? Here are the 2 dolphins. So what this is feeling is you're really understanding a love partnership, a love connection. And it doesn't mean as a lover, but coming from a place of love. And you're understanding that this love is divine love. Me loving on myself, my divine connection. When my heart is full, I flow that love into the people around me, into the environment around me. What brings me ultimate fulfillment? This is the 10 of Cups. You have really learned a big lesson about what is contentment, what is fulfillment, what is it that fills your cup, not someone else's. Okay? And because you have learned some things about what brings you fulfillment, you're walking away from some unfulfilling things. Perhaps some of you have actually closed and walked away from long-term relationships, okay, long-term held jobs, long-term held places where you lived, and there's a big shift that's taking place with this walking away. That was then. You were a different person. There's been a great amount of evolution, a great amount of shift, a great amount of light energy that's flown into you, that's you've experienced, you're growing into, you're blooming and blossoming. And now you're this person, now with this evolved, more evolved person that you are, with greater awareness, you're recognizing that this is now what I want. That was then. So you're ready to walk away from things that are not giving you ultimate happiness. And that's a huge lesson. That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. You're walking away from stress. Okay, stress about when are things going to come to fruition? When are things going to happen? Should I do this? Should I not do this? You are truly learning now as a big lesson on I don't have to be on the go, go, go. In this whole reading, a lot of emotional energy has come up. And on my 2022 readings, I've said the way for 2022 for people, doesn't matter whatever readings I do, that's what was the main energy that was coming in, is the way of the divine feminine. Feminine energy is the emotional body. So we are all healing and moving through our emotional body. Long held depth of emotions, and they're coming back up to the surface for healing and seeing what is it that you truly want? So things and situations that created stress, you're walking away from that. No, I don't want it. Okay? Because you're realizing that this is my cup. And I can only share my cup once it's full, not when it's depleted with all this stress. So that's a big lesson. That's wonderful. What a gorgeous lesson to have learned to walk away from stress, to choose peace. This is walking away from stress and choosing peace. Okay, choosing harmony, a big lesson. Choosing what brings me contentment. Choosing the lighter side of life. Focusing on the lighter side of life. Choosing to walk towards what brings me contentment. Now in this one, what I see is, here we go. This is the King of Wands. Okay, we got the two masculine energies of spiritual fire and of emotions. Okay, so big lesson. Big lesson is mastery of emotions, where you felt like adrift, where you probably sometimes didn't express how you felt. You've opened up now to take these new choices. You made some heartfelt choices about who you are. I am the spiritual self. I'm not this body. I'm not the mind. I'm not the thoughts. I'm not the emotions. I am the spiritual self. I am that. I am. With this spiritual energy, there is so much growth that has taken place, that I am responsible and the soul is in charge. And when I have this divine connection, everything flows from inside out. So one of the big lessons has been to master the element of fire, the burning fire, to do things, to move forward. Okay, it can create stress or it can create wonderful creations. That's why it says the creator. You have learned that I am the creator of my reality, and I create with my thoughts. What are my thoughts that I'm aligning with? Okay, I'm aligning with thoughts that are heartfelt, and I make choices that are heartfelt. Do you see this alignment here? Big lessons here. So your thoughts, and you're recognizing your place collectively on what you're pouring into the collective consciousness. Okay, a big lesson here on that too. And over here we have the Hierophant. Okay, nothingness. In one of my readings for 2022, it said, and I think this had showed up, and I said, what are you casting? What are the dreams you're casting into this void? It's completely empty. What do you want to cast in there? You're the creator. Do you want to cast in stress? Do you want to cast in things where you feel all limited and you feel like I've lost everything? Or can we come from this place of light and love in whatever the situation is, to learn to ride the waves? When there is a restriction, what is this restriction trying to teach me? Can I still be lighter? Can I do things a different way? What is it that the universe is wanting me to learn? There's a lesson to be learned. So you're learning that. So with this energy of 5 and the Hierophant, with the Tower, okay, 2 major arcanas clarifying each other, okay, that what were those long held beliefs? I am the spiritual self. Hierophant is connection to the divine. I am the spiritual self. I am the creator. Okay, I'm experiencing the creations through this physical body, through this physical realm. So for each one of you, you're going to be learning these lessons. You're completing these lessons at a different level. Does it kind of make sense? Okay, based on your own spiritual evolution, based on how much spiritual work you've been doing. But overall, what I'm feeling is that these have been some of these big lessons for 2021 that you are completing. You're completing to learn to let go, to release some of the old held beliefs that tied you down to an old pattern. And you're recognizing your creative abilities. You're recognizing your ability to create harmony in your life. You're recognizing your ability to fill your own cup, and that you have the choice to fill your own cup. You're recognizing your ability to walk away from emotionally unfulfilling jobs, situations, and places. Okay, this is too toxic for me, and I'm going to choose me. So you're releasing the energy of blame, you're releasing the energy of guilt, you're releasing the energy of shame, and choosing you, your divine self. So you're making heartfelt choices. That's beautiful energy. That's a beautiful, beautiful energy with the 10 of Cups, the King of Wands, and the Hierophant here, to show up as big learnings. You're learning the value for commitment. What are you committing to? What is your new commitment? And that's been a learning as well.